What's up, guys? Looking back to another video. On this video we're going to be doing the shock mounts on the front. So I'll just show you what we got started. Well, technically we didn't start yet. Well, technically we kind of did. I'll just show you what we got. Okay, so first we got to grind these lower shock mounts, get all the old weld off of it, grind them down, and then we're going to pretty much put them on the axle. We're going to have them flipped up because when they're lower, they're kind of in the way of the plate. So we're just gonna flip them, and then I'm just gonna reuse the rear shock for a mock-up shock because it's the exact length we need opened. So we're just gonna use that as a mock-up shock. And then my buddy had these shocks laying around in his garage. I think they're Old Man Emu shocks because, I mean, they're yellow. They might be, they might not be, but they're a good length for what we need. We're gonna be going for like 4 inches up travel, which, I mean, is plenty. So yeah, so we're gonna try to get that done. We're gonna do shock hoops, and yeah, and then after we get the shocks mounted, we're gonna pull these off, all these little spot welds. We're gonna grind out and get rid of these, and then we can figure out how to cut these fenders out. So anyways, we're gonna get to work. So let's get to work. Well, we got some stuff done on the Samurai. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I kind of didn't film any of it. Just wasn't really in the mood to film. But I'll just show what we got. I'll just show you what we got done. So let's check it out. So we ended up getting the shock towers done on the front, getting the shocks mounted. What else did we do to it? There's something else. The rear shocks we got done. Oh yeah, we also put the belly pan on it that I had laying around, put that on it. Also got full exhaust on it. I had an exhaust system laying down in my other garage, so I ended up putting that on it. And then also did cut the fenders out. I'm gonna be completely honest, the driver's side didn't turn out really nice, but it should definitely work and the tires shouldn't rub. But I did do the passenger side a little differently, which I didn't cut as much. So yeah, like it was kind of hard to, like I always saw people do the, I think it's called virtual lift or something like that they call it, where they just like slice up, like make a line and then they slice up and then they just bend it up. I tried doing that and it just wasn't working right. I don't know if because there was a lot of gaps because like the rust. So yeah, so I think that's probably why it didn't turn out as good. But I mean, it's definitely cut out. And then we also pulled off the metal trim pieces to hold the fender flares. We took all them off. I was gonna try to cut like the back too, but the tire doesn't hit the back, so I'm not gonna really worried about it. It was hitting the little mud flat pieces that were like here, so we just cut them off both sides. So yeah, she's pretty rusted. Yeah, and then also the it had that little coolant leak, which we found out it was the water pump. So we ended up pulling the water pump out and putting a new water pump in it and putting a new seal on it. So we got all that stuff done. So yeah, I'd show you the water pump, but it's a water pump. So I guess that's pretty much it for what I got done to it so far. Like I said, sorry I didn't do any filming. I'm gonna give you a price breakdown of all the money I have into the Samurai so far, because technically she is running, driving, stopping, and 4-wheel drive works, and the power steering works. So technically, as it sits, it's pretty much ready to wheel. I did have some other ideas I wanted to do to it, but well, unfortunately, the Samurai might be sold. The guy told me that he's interested in buying it. Technically, the kid who was helping me, it's his dad. He said he's interested in buying it for him, so that he has something to take wheeling with us. But he never gave me any money yet, so who knows? He said he wants it. So this actually might be the last time you see the Samurai. Like I said, I had more plans with it. Like I wanted to do rock sliders on it. My plan was to cut the rockers out, do like 4x4 box tubing, and then like cut angles on it, and then maybe like fix all this crap in the back too, And then like the floors too, I wanted to fix some of the floors, but, oh, he zipped this up. Yeah. Oh yeah, we do have to, well, you gotta mount the overflow bottle. Gotta do that too, yeah. So yeah, so, I mean, it pretty much is what it is. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. You probably put like a rubber floor mat down. It's an off-road beater. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. So let me get some stuff drawn up on my whiteboard and we'll go right into how much money I have into this thing. So let's get into it. Okay, so I got all the stuff wrote down on the board. I mean, I definitely ended up putting a lot of stuff in the Samurai because when I purchased the Samurai, it didn't run, it didn't drive. Yeah, it was pretty bad shape. So anyways, let's get started and I'll show you how much money I have into this thing. So, Samurai. I picked the Samurai up for 600 bucks. That also doesn't include gas going to get it, your time, obviously. There's a few other factors in with the price of it, but I paid 600 bucks for it. So, that's what I paid for it. So yeah, so next thing I purchased for it was cap, rotor, and spark plugs. It definitely needed them because the plug wires were, yeah, they were shot. So I had about $34 or $33 into them. Tires. Okay, so the tires are used. I bought them off a friend of mine. We kind of did some bartering, which technically when he had the tires for sale, he wanted 400 bucks for them. I did trade him $400 worth of stuff for the tires, so we're gonna say the tires costed me 400 bucks. Okay, axles. I had the axles, I purchased the axles. Well, I got the axles with the Samurai I purchased, but technically I paid more money for the Samurai because it came with the axles. So I'm saying I had about 500 bucks in the axles. They had a locker in the front, it had chromoly axle shafts. I mean, axle trusses, I mean, they did cost money, and it had, which I don't really add money for axle trusses because, I don't know, I think they're only like 20 bucks or something like that. But it did have a stage 1 high steer arm on it too, which we didn't end up using because it wouldn't clear the frame because it sat so high. So in the axles, I'm gonna say I had 500 bucks into the axles. Okay, so leaf springs. I had to buy leaf springs for it. The front springs I purchased off a guy. I paid 50 bucks for them. They're Old Man Emu leaf springs. I mean, technically they didn't have bushings in it, but I did end up using bushings out of other springs I had, but we're just gonna say I paid 50 bucks for them. And then the rear stock YJ springs, I paid 50 bucks for them, so I got 100 bucks in leaf springs. Okay, steering. Listen, I mean, it wasn't too expensive, but I mean, there's some money involved. So, power steering setup, I used Sidekick power steering setup, which is the box, the power steering pump, and the reservoir. I had that. If you're gonna buy it from like someone off the internet, they usually typically go around from 200 and up. So I'm just gonna say $200 for that. And then, yeah, the pump, yeah, we'll put 200 for the setup. And then also, when you do power steering, you need the pulley. So the pulley, I had one, I bought it a long time ago. I'm pretty sure I paid 50 bucks for that. And then, if you plan to do power steering, definitely suggest to run a cooler. I picked one up off eBay for 30 bucks. Axle seals. Axle seals were junk when I tore the whole axle apart to re-grease everything. Axle seals front and back, it was, I think it was 34 bucks. 34 bucks for axle seals. Okay, suspension components. I'm gonna add up U-bolts, front shackles, the box tubing, to add the front shackle mounts, and I'm also including the rear spring hangers and the rear shackles along with the rear U-bolts. So I have, and actually U-bolt plates still, I have $460 into that. Okay, I'm gonna add like transfer case gears, brake lines, and spool. I bought all that stuff from Trail Tough. I figured I'll just give you a total what I paid for all this stuff. It's kind of, I mean, it's not really hard, but like shipping prices vary if you buy one thing compared to like 3 things. So all the parts I bought from Trail Tough, which was 6.4 transfer case gears, extended brake lines, which I had to get 4 brake lines, 2 for the front, 2 for the back because it is an 86. And then the rear mini spool, them parts came out to $934. So that was a big purchase. Big purchase. Big purchase. Okay. And like, before I get further, like, if you plan to rock crawl your Samurai, things you definitely need would be transfer case gears and lockers front and rear. Like, them 2 things makes your Samurai a whole different animal. So anyways, as we go on, shocks. The front shocks were given to me, but we did have to buy rear shocks, and the rear shocks cost $60 for both of them. I mean, they weren't anything special, but it is what it is. Okay, belly pan. I had this sitting around my garage. I think they're around like 150 new, but mine was used and I had it, and I'm pretty sure I paid $50 for it. So $50 for a belly pan. Battery. The battery was completely shot in it. I think the battery was like 115 or 120, and then you give them the core charge, and I'm pretty sure the core charge was like $15. So the battery, I think I just put 100. I think it was a little more than that, like it was like 102.35 or something like that. So we're just gonna say 100 for the battery. Which technically, if you have a lot of cars, you can swap batteries out, that'd be cheaper. Water pump was $60. The differential covers, I made them, but still it did take time to make them, and it did require material. I looked on Low Range's website to buy differential covers. I think they're $50 a piece. So I'm just gonna say $60 because, I mean, I did make them, and yeah, I mean, I made them. They're worth 60. Okay, so, I mean, I'm pretty sure we got all the prices, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it is a lot more than what I thought I was gonna have into it. I mean, it pretty much is what it is. It'd probably definitely be a lot more than this if you're buying new tires and you had to buy a locker new and like axle shafts, like the chromoly axle shafts too. If you had to buy all that stuff new, you would definitely have a lot more money into it. But the grand total is $36,650. No, I'm just kidding. It's $3,661, which it's definitely a lot to have into a Samurai that's rusted out. But at the end of the day, all the drivetrain components are in really good shape. Like you saw me in the videos, I rebuilt the axles completely. I mean, I didn't buy new bearings, but I cleaned all the bearings up, new grease, new axle seals. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I have into it. I mean, it definitely needs a lot more work, but that's for the new owner. So I mean, I guess that's pretty much it for this video. If you like these videos, definitely hit the like button. And if you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching. Okay, so I mean, if it's pretty much it for this Samurai build, I had a question for you guys. What would you guys want to see next? Like, I mean, obviously the Samurai build didn't go where I wanted it to go, but like, what do you want to see next for a build? I mean, I could do another budget build on something else. I mean, leave in the comments below what you think would be cool to do or what you would watch. Any suggestions is always nice. So yeah. So let me know.